This book was authored by the spiritual leader His Holiness Sheihul Mufliheen M.S.M. Abdullah, Rahmatullah, in Tamil in the year 1980, and due to requests from the English readers this book was translated to English by the Religious Society. 10 years after the publication of this book in Tamil, Ceylon Jammiathul Ulama, a group of theologians, issued a religious edict, Fatwa, against the author, castigating him as Murthath, one who has deviated from the Islamic path. To establish the truth, a legal battle was initiated by the author in the year 1990 in the District Court of Colombo, and after a long hearing the theologians, realizing their vain attempt, came to a settlement in the courts and withdrew the fatwa in the year 1996. The spiritual leader along with his disciples had to encounter baseless criticism, senseless violence and persecution for many years. However, various acts by them to quash the truth were successfully thwarted by him till his demise in the year 2006. This book clearly reveals for the first time in the history of Islam the true meaning of the fundamental principle in Islam, the Kalima la ilaha illallah, there is nothing, creation, but Allah, based on the Holy Quran and Hathees for humanity to attain eternal peace and tranquility. Please be noted, for further clarifications please refer the original version of the book in Tamil or contact our head office. Our official website, tariqathulmufliheen.com. Preface. The ever-living, non-destructive, supporting the biodegradable beings and all matter of the whole universe, unseen to the perplexed humanity, apparent to the non-perplexed exalted one, all praise and grace belong to you, the omnipotent Allah. Further, in the name of Amals Harathami Muhammad Mustafa Rasul, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, his kinsmen and companions who followed him, let there be peace, tranquility and salams. I have written this book for the benefit of the middle class after long years of study, research and inference by the perusal of the Holy Quran, Hathees and Kitabs like as mentioned on the screen and other similar ones. I have also researched on the books on Hinduism, Advaitham, Upanishads, Old Testament, New Testament, books on Nazarenes, atheism, polytheism, transmigration or rebirth, and many other books authored by many religionists. Having delved into these, I am penning what I consider truthful from my personal experience for the benefit of humanity. Dear beloved brothers and sisters, those who read this book I have written, I see you and me as different manifestation of one cardinal truth. Hence, I have united all of you to be called in the masculine gender as dear brothers. This is because, I have through my personal experiences come to the belief held by many dignitaries that it is the wisdom that is masculine that shows the path of truth and only the brave man can befriend it. With a view to imprint my speeches in your minds, I have decided to refer to you in the first person singular. Pardon me with generosity. Your brother, M.S.M. Abdullah. This world is at present. Within these divisions, there may be many subdivisions and branches. In the exposition of the different principal beliefs of man there exists diametrically opposite views. However, their basis boils down to the existence of two important principles. This is what I have inferred. Even though to the ordinary human being these two seems opposed to each other, the aim of both are one and the same. Positivism and negativism are all attributes that confirm the actual truth. This is one fact that has been elucidated by me after many long years of complex research. Inshallah, details of it would be provided later. Do men and modal beings are the only ones that are living? If observed, the response to it is in the negative. All matters in the universe are in motion, whether living or dead, as per man's understanding. This is well known to the knowledgeable researchers. Quran and Hathees too confirm this truthful contention. Let us take, in our view and observance, living beings to research within our human capabilities to discover an important truth. We observe that a seed germinates and becomes a small shrub which in course of time transforms itself to a mature tree. This after many changes produces flowers, small fruits which ripens to produce a mature fruit giving a seed again. Even grass entrapped by a large rock grows around it to show itself externally. The human body too in a similar fashion and acts likewise. The parent's blood produces sperms and ova, they intermingle and fertilize to form an egg, the egg develops to a fetus and obtains life to form an infant. The infant grows into a baby, child, adolescent, youth, adult and terminates as an old man meeting death, and he observed as a corpse. Is this the finale? No, the corpse rots to produce soil, water, air and fire. These then gets into grasses, shrubs, cow, goat and reptiles, and after numerous changes becomes blood, sperm, ova, fetus and infant. Some believe this to be rebirth. Some others refer to it as transmigration and others call it evolution. Still others believe that you go to heaven and hell after death. Still another section are of the belief that the existence in hell and heaven are permanent. Those in hell do receive punishment specific to the evil deeds they have committed and finally end up in heaven is a belief of another sector. It is not necessary to delve into the details of these, nor infer as to its authenticity. This is because the subject of our research is that which concerns Tawhid, and if we genuinely understand its truthfulness, it will be easy for us to infer the authenticity. Section 2. Two very important truths emerge from the confrontational principles dealt above. It is an undisputed fact that modal beings will either be belated or speedy in their motion. In a similar vein, there should be an aim, regardless of it being right or wrong, if one is to act as the other fact. Our Imam, the Quran and the Hathees expostulates that all actions are on the basis of an aim or objective, therefore, whatever the being or whatever the action, there would be an aim for its action as a cardinal fact. It is always for the attainment of an objective or aim. Like the grass emerging from under the rock in quest for sunlight, air and other needs, the creations too, whether knowingly or ignorantly live through their life to attain an objective is an indisputable fact. Thus, why is man born? A very short response would be that it is for the attainment and fulfillment of his objective. If so, what is his objective? The answer to this would be to reach his original state of bliss, tranquility and peace. This is so of good man, men of evil and even of a person committing suicide. Explanations would be given later, be patient. All creations excluding humans, in their actions to achieve their respective objectives tread a path that, deen, is not varying or partial, not to gain victory or suffer defeat, nor does it involve in any fight or battles. There is no confrontation or partiality when a cow eats the grass, and another eats straw for its food. In the case of men, his nationality, race and ethnicity, his traditions and way of life of one group is seen as falsity by another group. If one group finds fault with the other, it ends up in war between the two. We observe war of words, and battles at all times, at all places. One who follows a certain principle rejoices in it as truthful and factual. Surah 23:53 But the people have cut off their affairs, of unity, between them, into sects. Each party rejoices in that which is with itself. Surah 31 hours 21 minutes When they are told to follow the revelation that God has sent down, they say, Nay, we shall follow the ways that we found our fathers following. What? even if it is shaitan or devil beckoning the penalty of the blazing fire? So asks the Quran. What is the objective or aim of the people who, being loyal to their own party, live according to their principles, regardless of it being right or wrong? If this question is deeply delved into, it becomes clear that every creation begins its journey towards self-fulfillment from an original state, unknown, of fullness. It is the fullness of the seed that begins its journey and undergoes many changes, martabas, before finally attaining the state of seed. But why should one in fullness attain fullness once again? If it is striving to attain fullness, its original state should not be in a state of fullness? Such doubts arise in the minds of the reader, and these cannot be clarified instantaneously, unless a person correctly responds to the question, what is a creation? He would find it difficult to reach the clarifications to this query or doubts. Therefore, before trying to clarify, it is best to peruse my findings given in the form of question and answers under the caption "A Clearance of Doubts," that would, inshallah, help you to understand without any doubt, and arm you with the knowledge that would help you to find the answer. Do not worry. Section 3. As stated before, let us take man first. We act, doing Amals, only to obtain our fullness. Will we by knowing or being ignorant of our objective attain fullness? If so, are there men who succeeded in obtaining fullness? What are the ways of attaining fullness? These are questions that arise. These queries have to be answered extensively and clearly. I am of the belief that if you read and imbibe the truths, then I will, in relation to Tawhid, inshallah, clear all our doubts. This would be a great help in your quest to achieve your objective. Fullness means the final achievement of tranquility and peace. Tranquility and peace does not refer only to worldly matters. If man striving to attain tranquility even in worldly affairs, he does not attain it fully. He may be successful in a few of it, but not the whole, and hence fail to obtain fullness. For instance, we need food to quell our hunger. Once we eat the food, our hunger is satisfied, but after a few hours the need for food comes up again. Likewise, it is so of many other matters in our livelihood. Hence, tranquility can only be obtained on a temporary basis and never permanent. Our striving for circumstantial tranquility is on the basis of an objective towards only the particular subject. Hence, full tranquility is a different kettle of fish. In the sphere of worldly affairs too, the objective is circumstantial and not whole. Hence, full tranquility depends on the knowledge, and the knowledge is dependent on what objective we intend pursuing. What truth is more superior than that of Allah? If so, the knowledge of trying to know and understand Allah would be the best of all knowledge, and the attainment of it would definitely bring forth much happiness and would surely attain full tranquility. It is because of this that we refer to the attainment of tranquility in worldly affairs as a minor achievement and consider it temporary. The tranquility you achieve by knowing Allah becomes the quintessence of achievement. Iman means the obtainment of this knowledge that would bring complete tranquility. This complete tranquility has been achieved by Nabis, Rasuls, and those who followed them, called Walis. Yet many men treading a wrong path due to blind faith, still assume and believe that they are in fact treading the correct path. This has to be delved into with patience and clear knowledge. Nabis and Rasuls, based on the times, circumstances and environment, with Allah's grace, have successfully expostulated the correct path for the fulfillment to their own people. They made a few who followed, accepted and believed in them to attain tranquility. After the death of these Nabis, knowledge of it decreased. Some who were intent on gaining fame, honor and fortune misdirected the people from the correct path. During these times Allah has sent down Wallace who revived the correct path preached by the deceased Nabis and Rasuls. This has been so after the demise of every Nabi or Rasul. The last of the prophets Khathamun Nabiyyin Muhammad Mustafa Rasul Kareem, Sal, sent by Allah expostulated an authentic genuine correct path that is compatible for all times, all places, all environment, all communities and an easy path. He not only told of the correct path but also showed it to his followers by himself practicing it in real life. This path was shown by Rasul, Sal, has the name Islam. This name Islam too was not named by Rasul, Sal. It was the Prophet Ibrahim, Al, who named those who followed the path of Islam as Muslims. The facts and truthfulness of predeceased prophets were misinterpreted, so was it in the case of Rasul, Sal, wherein people have been given misconstrued ideas. They have succeeded in misdirecting and making people believe in their own brand of exposition by the usage of methodologies that can make one believe easily. This is not known to many of the people who are living in the present times and are totally ignorant of the same. The innocent who is not fully aware of true knowledge and being so gullible is not surprising. But, the knowledgeable and majority of the ulamas being ignorant of this is surprising. This is because they obtained religious education only to gain a degree and name. Trying to find authenticity, truthfulness or falsehood was never in their thoughts. Let us therefore analyze it ourselves and elucidate the truth. Section 4. Hathees, the best of times were my time, then the period following my time, and another period following the latter. The lies and falsity would then prevail. Reported by Ibn Umar, Rahmatullah, Authority, Tirmidhi. There are similar Hathees like the one above, related by Rasul, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. We will delve with them at appropriate instances. The best of times as pointed out by the Prophet was 30 years from the time of his demise. After that period, the truth was overturned, many untruths have been interpolated that are opposed to the Quran and Hathees. Inshallah, let us get a clear clarification. Hathees frightened a few Dajjals that would emerge before the authentic Dajjal, said Rasul, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. The Sahibas requested for their identity. He responded by saying that they were the Imams who pushed the people towards waywardness. Who these Imams were would be dealt with in a later analysis. Hathees. O Allah, show the straight path to Imams and pardon their sins. Hathees. Islam will become insignificant and helpless as it was at the beginning. Let there be blessings to those helpless, so said Rasul, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. When queried who the helpless were, he said, those who developed what others destroyed in my religion. There are many evidences similar to this to confirm that Islam and its basic principle has been turned upside down. Let us look into this later and divert our attention to the subject matter now. Section 5. The word Islam has been used with many meanings in the Quran and Hathees. This has been used depending on the level of knowledge prevalent in man. This too needs to be elaborated. Yet, for one who is thirsting for God's grace, I wish to state a fact that is needed for you. The Arabic word Islam has its origin from the base word Salamun, Salama. Many researchers have explained so. Salam means peace. This consists of temporary and permanent peace. Hence Dinul Islam means a path that would give peace. It has within it both temporary and permanent peace or the path to obtain both forms of peace. To those who aspire to obtain temporary or circumstantial peace, Islam bears the meaning of follower, Muslims. This is the external aspect of Islam. To a person in quest of complete permanent peace and striving to obtain peace and to be in union with God, Islam means those who have Iman, means. This is the internal aspect of Islam in the life of Islam. These two are called Lahar-Batin. Some who are wanting in researching the word Islam and are blind followers give Islam to mean the righteous path. Externally righteous path is opposed to non-righteous path. Righteous path is apt, says some, but Islam encompasses both without expressing the difference and would therefore give the meaning of peace and tranquility to the word Islam. There are many nuances within this and are unnecessary for the awams in want of knowledge. It is however very necessary for you who is intent on finding union with God and thus obtain peace and tranquility. At this stage, it is necessary for you to imprint in your mind that there is no difference in the two types of ways or path. It is only an illusion of a veiled knowledge that is entrapped by rules and regulations. This is because we arbitrarily take it for granted a basis to infer right and wrong, good or evil and the like. The real truth and the details of obtaining peace are in the very far horizon. The details of the latter is given under the chapter on what is Islam's objective in this book. It is fully explained with supportive evidences. We all know that by interrogation and speeches that Islam is not a fictitious religion formulated by blind rituals and foolhardy beliefs that is an empty path called Islam, deen. To those who under the cloak of Muslims have entered the fold of Islam, a majority of them, is of the belief and knowledge that Islam of blind faith and blind rituals would fulfill. I observe that such people are of the belief that Islam is just the blind following, or the imitation of others who are said to be Muslims. This is because many are of the opinion that following and practicing the mode of dress, habits, practices and traditions of those who called themselves Muslims is the true religion of Islam. They have not understood or are ignorant that Islam is a code of conduct to imprint the principle of Iman in them. The rules and regulations that were an essential part of Islam have been turned topsy-turvy and the ulamas are ignorant of the same. Some others have even gone to the extent of concluding that the true Islam is impractical in this present world. Do get angry with me for my putting forth a question: could we the Muslims find fault in this manner? To you who is striving to obtain God's grace, and a person with common sense, please do listen, think it over with patience, and clear yourself, and then accept what I am going to state. Do have patience, as I want to explain how the authentic basic principles of Islam has been turned topsy-turvy and made unrecognizable. Many who have alongside us living under the cover of Islam are existing an illusory life and false belief. Chapter 6 My beloved brothers, every Muslim knows that there are 5 compulsory practices that a Muslim must perform, and none disputes this fact that these farl has to be adhered to. The ulamas of the Lahir and the ulamas of the Batin are also unanimous in acceptance of this fact. It is further confirmed by the Hathees in a Buniyul Islam al-Hamsin. This Hathees has been reported by Caliph Umar Rahmatullah, and none contests it. The first of the 5 compulsory rituals is to bear witness to the Kalima la ilaha illa Muhammadur Rasulullah. This too is not contested. There seems to be certain nuances in this when one delves closely and analyzes the Quran, Hathees and the actions of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam, as regards the Kalima. There seems many reasons adduced for one to be accepted as a Muslim, if he voices the Kalima la ilaha illa Muhammadur Rasulullah. The most important reason is to accept such person to the fold of Islam with an intention of training him as true follower later on. This concerns ordinary men, for one to obtain Iman many other farl have to be performed. Hence, recital of Kalima even without understanding, was taken as the basis to accept him to the fold of Islam, and laws were enacted for this purpose. We also know that one who obtains Iman has to do so by understanding and bearing witness to the same. This would be explained later. As per this basis of law, the eligibility by the voicing the Kalima would suffice for ordinary matters. It would however be not enough for the attainment of higher positions is undoubtedly true. This is because one cannot bear witness, if he is ignorant of the meaning of a Kalima. It amounts to falsity, if one gives a statement or expresses something being ignorant of the same or not understanding it. Further, it actually amounts to deceiving oneself. For a person to obtain Iman for compulsory, faro, practices has to be followed. First, recital of Kalima without any flaw. This is what is allowed by the rule. This is not compulsory for the deaf and dumb. Second, to understand the Kalima recited by the tongue. Third, to imprint in the mind the meaning of the Kalima. Fourth, to preserve what has been imprinted. It is to enable us to do this that external rituals has been compulsorily stipulated. Explanation to this would follow later. Hence, saying one has obtained Iman without understanding is mere heresy and illusion. Our parents' relations and our teachers, the ulamas, have taught us the Kalima in our younger days. They have told us that the Thawith Kalima is Lord fit to be worshipped is none other than Allah. When we accept this, it amounts to us having truly obtained Iman. We believe that we have rid ourselves of shirk. That is to say that if we accept the Creator as one, Islam's foremost duty has been fulfilled, and that the acceptance of the principle of the union of all in one is accomplished and as such become a full-fledged mu'min. What is the difference between the principle of one God, or Holy Trinity, and union of one in all or one in essence? Which of it is Islam's factual, authentic or genuine principle? These two, we are ignorant, as none of the schools ever taught us the explanation of Islam's basic principle. We have been taught Kalimathu Tayyiba, Kalimathu Sathath, Kalimathu Thamjith, Kalimathu Tho'ith and Kalimathu Kufr by the ulamas in our younger days. The collective meaning of all these five kalimas is that if one accepts the omnipotence of the only Creator, he becomes a full-fledged mu'min. As we were ignorant of the Arabic language, we accepted the description of the ulamas who were proficient in Arabic and believed in it. We did not analyze such exposition nor its veracity. However, if we were to analyze, and delve deeply into our Imam guide and religious mentor, the Quran, the meaning of the Kalima that we expressed, accepted, believed in and imprinted in our mind seems erroneous. Our acceptance has been due to sheer ignorance on our part. Further, we find that the Kalima is one and those in the garb of ulamas having no knowledge deceived us. We have as a result judged ourselves erroneously as true mu'mins. Be patient. A detailed explanation would be provided later. Hathees, there will come a time when the very name of Islam may disappear, its authentic truth will not exist, the very letters of the Quran may disappear along with its true meanings. Their masjids, mosques, would be polluted treading the wrong path. Their ulamas will be the most evil ones under the sky, said Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Reported by Ali, Rahmatullah, authority, by Hakim Miskath. Hathees, in the last days there would appear inexperienced, ignorant and incapable fools. Externally they would appear devout, fasting, praying and performing all rituals that are commanded by Islam. But they would delve in shirk, and have foolhardy beliefs, blind faith, said Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Reported by Abu Zayd al-Kuthri Authority, Buhari. Hathees, there would be different opinions in my community. A section would appear who would state good words but practice evil ways and recite the Quran. Their recital would not even pass through the very bones protecting the heart, will not be imprinted in the mind. They will stray away from religion like an arrow being thrust out of the stricken prey. They will not retrace their path towards religion. They would be the most evil until the arrow is placed in its sheath. May the life of these who murder them and those who have been murdered by them be blessed. They will always welcome you to the side of the Quran, but they will have no connection with it. Whoever who kills them, they would be considered the best among those who are in Allah's grace, so said Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam. O Prophet, what is their identity? Asked their companions. Shaved head, said Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Reported by Anas Rahmatullah, Authority, Abu Dawood. A section of the Wahhabis at present are supposed to shave their heads when obtaining bay'ath from their Sheikh. This could also signify and mean shaving off the truth and leveling of the graves. Chapter 7. Our guides and teachers have extolled the Kalima, and its strength in so many ways. They continue to do so even now. It is sweet to hear and seems amazing. The Quran too, in so many places extols its virtues in many ways. Al-Quran, Surah chapter 14, verse 24. Seest thou not how God sets forth a parable? A goodly word like a goodly tree whose root is firmly fixed in the branches, reach to the heavens. Al-Quran, Surah chapter 14, verse 25. It brings forth its fruits at all times, by the leave of its Lord. So God sets forth parables for men, in order that may receive admonition. Al-Quran, Surah chapter 14, verse 26. And the parable of an evil word is that of an evil tree. It is torn up by the root from the surface of the earth. It has no stability. The Quran describes the Kalima as above. Have our community in their life obtained any benefits by way of Kalima? It is largely felt that we have obtained none. This is because we have taken the sentences likened to a dead branch, and believed that it is the good sentences likened to a live branch. Details of the life of true servants show that many things have been wrought through Kalima as history relates. Even at present times there are certain amazing happenings in the life of a few through the Kalima. Al-Quran, Surah chapter 14, verse 27. The unbelievers say, why is not a sign sent down to him from his Lord? Say, truly God leaveth astray, whom he will, but he guideth to himself those who turn to him in penitence, so gives the Quran the description. Hence why is it that reciting of the Kalima, and believing in it does not give any benefits to us? Analyzing and exploring avenues of obtaining benefits from the Kalima is a necessity for us. Our Iman, the Quran exposes an important and immense truth through the ayahs 759, 7:65, 7:73, 7:75, 7:85, 41 hours 43 minutes and 21:25 and the like. It is very clear that the Rasuls, prophets and nabis have all expressed and expostulated a specific principle and tried to imprint it in the minds of their respective adherents by practice and instructing certain Amals, rituals. I will give an extensive explanation in the chapter on what is Islam's objective regarding this aspect. explanation of the principle is Islam's life, and Ibadah's body, is what emerges from the foregoing ayahs. Emman is the explanation of the principle of Islam. Due to the erroneous explanations regarding the principle of Islam expressed, and made to accept, and believe as authentic and genuine by a section of people have made us totally ignorant of the real, genuine, authentic and factual explanation regarding the principles of Islam. Due to our ignorance of this, we only practice the rituals blindly. If these rituals are not employed to strengthen and stabilize the principles of Islam, then it becomes dead wood. It could be likened to a dead corpse or a rootless dying tree. You do not have the wherewithal to understand the benefits you receive and why the Kalima was misconstrued to us by some, is what I have relayed with Allah's grace. Be patient till I give its explanations.